having my breakfast after an 8 a.m. Pilates class. Got my bao and tea, and I just felt very compelled to film this video because I had quite a lot of realizations recently, and I feel like I have to say it out because I think these are things that were holding me back, and I think I need to be like legit brutally honest with myself. So I figured that I realized after a phone call with my friend Jane the other day that I've been silencing myself. And one of the reasons why I feel so silenced, or like I'm so afraid of speaking up, what exact thoughts I have, the things I want to talk about, what I think, my personal opinion, it's because of something that happened like more than 10 years ago. So this has happened like more than 10 years ago, and it's kind of all over now, so I'm comfortable to share. I won't name names, but I'll share exactly what happened and I guess the impact that it had on me. So more than 10 years ago, I received, I think, 2 academic awards, and for those awards I had to go for interviews, right? So I went for them, and after one of the interviews, at that point in time, that was like more than 10 years ago, social media wasn't really a thing yet. So all we had were blogs, and I was actively blogging. So I blogged about how the interview, I felt it went well, but I think I used a few terms that were not so ideal in terms of how it reflected on the scholarship. But I used a few terms that I think it didn't reflect very well on the company that was awarding me. So I said things like, oh, I felt like the interview was easy. I think that was the only thing I remember, like that it was easy. And I feel like I'm gonna get it, but I didn't think too much at that point in time. I was seriously like, how old was I? I was 18 or 19. And I felt like, it's just my personal opinion, right? So I wrote about that. And then I guess I didn't know what impact or what consequences that had at that point in time. Moving forward a few months later, when I confirmed that I received one of the 2 awards, the director came up to me to tell me that you could have received the other award, which is the better one, the more prestigious one, if not for the fact that you had written something on your blog. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what did I do? And at that point in time, when they found out about the blog entry, nothing happened. Like, nobody told me to take that blog entry down. I guess they just decided at that point that they were not going to award it to me. But they gave me the other one, which I'm so grateful for, eternally grateful for. But it was really at that moment when the director came up to me during the award ceremony for the award that I received, that I realized, wow, like, my words have impact. And even though at that point in time I thought blogging was just me voicing out my personal opinions, my thoughts, my life, it's gonna have a profound impact on the organization that I was speaking about. So she put it across in a nice way, but I guess at that point in time there was still a shock to my system, because I guess if I hadn't written that blog entry, I would have gotten the better award, and I may have gone down a different path totally because of how that award was position and what they wanted their recipients to do. And I think after that happened, I was just, too busy trying to figure out about the award that I eventually received, and I was just trying to plan my time to, get things right to go overseas to study already with that award. So I kind of like suppressed my emotions about that incident, and I think I never truly processed them, because I guess my parents were just like, oh wow, like my parents were shocked too. And then my parents were just like, okay, then you just got to be careful of what you put online. And after that, of course, I deleted the blog, and social media was starting to come up, but I was more like using visuals on Instagram to just document my life. I wasn't really putting out any personal thoughts or opinions on my social media. And so up to this point right now, as I'm trying to build my personal page on YouTube, I feel like that incident just suddenly came up to mind, and it reminded me so much about, like, wow, I think that really had a significant impact on me, and how willing am I to speak up and talk about things on the internet. Of course, like in my business, when I talk about decluttering and organizing, it comes very naturally, and usually most of the time it doesn't really have much significant impact on anyone or anything, because we make a very conscious effort to double check with our clients in our contract to say that If you're not comfortable with showing your home and the process on social media, we will not feature anything on social media. So everything else, when I speak about organizing or decluttering, it comes very naturally because it's okay. There isn't like, it's not going to kill anyone, it's not going to affect anyone. I think the only thing that affects is me and my business. But now when I want to talk about other stuff like my personal life, my mindset, my friends, my relationships, I feel like a lot of times I'm so afraid of speaking up because of the incident, because of, growing up conditioning, people telling me I was a good girl. I always cared about what other people think. I was very considerate. I always just went with the safe path. I always just did the right thing and the ideal path. But I think this 2 years, as I get like spiritual awakening and I get a bit more aware about my thoughts and emotions, I feel like I'm now starting to peel away the layers that have been formed in my mind that were blocking me, and now I'm starting to peel off the layers to really truly understand what do I truly want, what do I truly think, and really just putting myself out there to try to be 100% myself. Because to be honest, even today, as I'm filming this video, I don't feel like I can 100% be myself. Maybe I'm like 85%, 90% myself, but there are things that I wish to talk about, there are things that I wish to do, but I'm still constantly like worried about how people would perceive them, how I would look, is it good enough? So I guess doing YouTube is really a good way for me to practice showing up imperfectly, and also just telling myself that your opinions matter, your voice matters, and there are people who would be drawn to you eventually if you truly align with what your heart wants and you share from a place of service and helping others. It's gonna make sense, it's gonna come out authentic, and people are gonna like it eventually. So I guess this video is just me sharing and telling myself to be brutally honest that I should just create anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter how I look. Like, I'm sweaty right now after a workout. I'm having my breakfast. There are people walking around me, and to be honest, I've came here a few times wanting to film videos, but I was so cautious about what people would think because there will always be people sitting around me. I mean, right now it's pretty empty because it's very early, but there are people walking around, and I think I really need to do this and overcome the need to be perfect and overcome my own inner demons in order to grow and in order to share my voice. So if you relate to this and this sounds exactly like you too, I just want you to know you're not alone. And I hope that with more of my videos coming up, I hope it inspires you to speak up, show up in whatever way you wish, and so that you can really shine and be of service to others. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna enjoy my breakfast now, take a short break, and I'll see you guys again. Bye!